Knowledge. Ta-da! Beliefs.
Arts, laws,
Morals. Kamusta po? Language. Mayap agapanun kekayo ngan.
culture,
Cultures refer to a way of life in society. Although each culture may be different from one another, they each refer to a complex whole which consists of knowledge, beliefs, arts, laws, morals, customs, and many other capabilities and habits that are passed down by an individual that belong to that society. Culture is also a complex social heritage or general design for living within a society which has been transmitted by human beings interacting with one another. Society. It's a group of people occupying a geographical territory with a common culture and interacting with each other. Members are united by social relationships. They share a common language and belief, and they consume the similar goods. Language. It's an important part of culture, and without it, the culture wouldn't exist. It enables people to transcend through time and space. This we can recall with what happened in the past and probably discuss what would happen in the future. Amy Pascasio said, "Language is an excellent medium in which to study the value system of any people because it reveals choices, directions of interests and differences among age, sex, and occupational groups. Language acts as a culture marker, a gauge in society, a social role indicating at the same time the dominant social institutions involved in the situation."
Culture is learned.
Same po ay lang po their elders, okay? Opo. Here's your candy. Thank you po.
Skills, values, and knowledge which make up a culture is not something that gets passed down in our genes, but it is something that we have to learn and develop to live one's life.
Culture is transmitted. We as humans, I don't like.
Don't be selfish, you have to learn how to share.
Okay. Thank you. Transmitted. We as humans are able to teach our children our own habits and the knowledge we have obtained living in the society. We teach our children by training them the essential skills needed to grow in the world we live in today. Culture is social, collective, and learned.
Don't sleep at night. You're sleeping the good luck.
It is developed through interacting with other groups and results from the accumulation of knowledge and group experience. It must be shared by groups of individuals.
Culture is ideation. They say when your palm is itchy that you're going to end up getting money. Within the society, habits considered as ideal patterns of behavior which the members are expected to follow. We give meaning to our environment and experiences by giving them symbols for us to remember.
Culture is gratifying. Culture has its own way of gratifying and satisfying the biological and emotional needs of people. It allows for the reasonably efficient and spontaneous interaction in a group for the satisfaction of these needs.
Culture is adaptive. Culture adapts to meet specific sets of circumstances such as climate, level of technology, population, and geography.
Adaptive. Every individual adjusts themselves to create new cultural dimension on its way of life, from the cultural transformation of clothing, food, shelter, music, arts, including the beliefs, traditions, and history.
Culture is an integrated whole. The various parts of the culture are closely integrated into a whole. Durkheim said, culture is the part of a single individual, but of a collective. A collective consciousness exists beyond the individual.
Interrelated whole. All aspects of culture function as an interrelated whole. If one part of a culture changes, it tends to affect another part.
Culture is made up of many elements which are interrelated and unified in order for all its aspects to function properly. According to Kendall, our culture is made up of two major aspects: the material and non-material cultures. Material cultures refers to the concrete and tangible objects that humans create. We use it and share it and serve it and use it to serve against various elements in the environment. The non-material culture consists of knowledge, social norms, beliefs, and sanctions, which are all abstract and intangible creations that affect our human behavior. Knowledge is the total range of what has been learned or perceived as true is knowledge. However, what is considered to be true may always change. What is in the past was true may be considered an error today. People act on the basis of what they assume to be true. Cultures includes natural, supernatural, technical, and magical knowledge. Natural knowledge refers to the accumulated facts about the natural world, including both biological and physical aspects. Technological knowledge pertains to the knowledge of nature which are useful in dealing with practical problems. Supernatural knowledge refers to the perception about the actions of gods and demons. Magical knowledge refers to the perceptions about methods of influencing supernatural events by manipulating certain laws of nature. That's it. Social norms. In our ordinary everyday activities like eating, talking, dressing, cooking, courtships, child rearing, working, spending leisure time, as well as in special occasions like weddings or funerals, they are certain prescriptions or standards of behavior that we follow. They define what behavior is required, acceptable, or appropriate in particular occasions. Norms are usually in the form of rules, standards, prescriptions, and socially shared expectations. Any departure from this norm is followed by some kind of punishment or sanction.
Folkways are commonly known as the customs, traditions, and conventions of society. They are the general rules, customary and habitual ways, and patterns of expected behavior within the society where they are followed without much thought given to the matter.
Mores. Mores are special folkways which are important to the welfare of the people and their values. They are based on ethical and moral values which are strongly held and emphasized.
Will you marry me? Yes.
Having strong moral sanctions, they are the must and should of the society. The Ten Commandments constitute an important source of mores. It applies to sexual behavior, marriage and family relations, physical and moral aggression against members of an in-group, betrayal of a group, attitudes towards authority, religion, and unfortunates in society, business deals, and other racial issues which involve group welfare. Laws are formalized norms enacted by people who are vested with government power and enforced by political and legal authorities designed by the government. Laws are enforced by formal sanctions like fines, imprisonment, or even death. You have been hereby convicted of murder and have been sentenced 25 years to life in the maximum security jail in Philadelphia. The need for increasing formalization of laws become necessary with the rapid social change and with the migration of thousands of people. Cultures. As a society becomes more complex and industrialized, it is inevitable for a smaller group to arise with distinct norms, values, beliefs, special languages, and lifestyles. These subgroups may be based on age, social class, occupational, political, and educational, or even religious interests of the group. While these subcultures have distinct cultural specificities unique to them, they still contain the dominant values of the norm. This is what has been called a culture within a culture. Ethnocentrism. There is a tendency for people who belong to the same culture to define reality from their point of view. One considers his or her ways as right and normal, and those from other groups as wrong. The tendency to regard one culture as the best and better than those of the other is called ethnocentrism. So now this Friday, I was wondering if you want to go party.
I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to go out. My parents treat.
What kind of culture do you have? Literally, ethnocentrism means a belief that one's group is at the center of everything and all the others are scaled and rated with reference to it. Ethnocentrism serves as a society by developing greater feelings of group unity and affirmation of loyalty to the ideals of the society. That's it. Xenocentrism. When people reject their own group or some part of their culture, we call this reverse ethnocentrism or xenocentrism. This is the idea that what is foreign is best and that one's lifestyle, products, or ideas are inferior to the others.
Gigi! Gina, bigay na naman! Alas sa na, di ka pa umuwi! Ngayon ka lang umuwi!
It's none of your business. I'm already 19.
Xenocentrism is centered on a product, an idea, or a lifestyle.
Culture shock. He or she uses the familiar signs and symbols of social intercourse and experiences unpleasant sensations or frustrations.
Cultural relativism.
Hey, have you eaten yet? Come eat with us.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not used to eating with my hands. I like with spoon and a fork.
When people first come in contact with another culture and observe that its patterns are different from their own, they tend to judge the new ways as strange, exotic, weird, or immoral.
Culture universals. Features and elements common to all culture. It's accounted for by people's biological similarities, psychic unity dependence on group life, individuality and the limited possibilities within one and physical and social environment.
Universals. Cultural universals are specific behavioral elements that are common to every culture. Funeral rites are practiced in every culture in some form. A funeral is a ceremony marking a person's death. There are universals that have remained consistent in funeral service, announcing the death, care of the deceased, a method of disposition, a possible ceremony or ritual, and some form of memorial.
Diversity of culture refers to the wide range of differences in cultural patterns, ideas, beliefs, knowledge, forms of social organization, and practical responses to the environment. There are some factors that promote cultural diversity. First, presence of social categories refers to a collective of persons who share common social characteristics like age, sex, and religion. Second, subcultures. Subgroups separates from mainstream society. Third, cultures differ in ideas and practical responses to the environment.